branding firm suggested having homeless people serve as wireless hotspots by arming them with Wi-Fi devices and having them roam around the city. Now, some people have expressed ethical concerns over what's being called the Homeless Hotspots program. But as the host of a TV show that broadcasts over the internet, I say, shut your damn mouth. Because now you can watch the BSofA wherever you are, whether it's a bus depot restroom or a highway underpass or needle exchange clinic. With that in mind, the BSofA has hired our very first homeless hotspots employee, a man who has evacuated his bowels in my subway station entrance many times. What's your name, sir?
Prince Turkey Leg!
Hi, Prince Turkey Leg. You are going to be an internet hotspot. Do you know what that means?
Is it like when aliens beam down on your brain?
Sort of. You're going to have this MiFi wireless device.
Okay, you got it.
Now, people will give you money, and you'll give them internet access.
I'm a sea captain, ahoy!
All right, well, do you understand what a wireless hotspot is?
The lady at the kitchen wouldn't give me my grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not saying I murdered her, but she ain't around no more.
Well, that's just not my concern.
Don't people worry that the cell phone tower is getting cancer? Isn't this the same thing?
Well, that's a concern mostly for the homeful.
Okay, well, I gotta go yell at the UN building.
You know what? I gotta access my email, so why don't you have a little stick-around juice?
Oh boy, stick around juice!
We're doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
This is about jobs.
McConnell said there will be no shutdown.
Put a stop to bullying.
Real cuts, the devil's in the details.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
The president went about this all wrong.
America, we have come so far. We have seen so much. We shall overcome. Yes, we can.
Game on.
Thank you. Good luck and God bless you.
The BSofA with Brian Sack.
Good evening, America, and welcome to the BSofA. I'm Brian Sack. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, so of course, I'm wearing green. Now, Erin go bra, everybody. And now, this week's BS. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi commented during this week's Women of the World conference that she hopes Rush Limbaugh remains advertiseless. Apparently a good opportunity to pander leaves her at a loss for actual words. NASA released a video on YouTube this week arguing against theories that the world will end on December 21st of this year. "We're really proud of this YouTube video we made," said a guy who at one point was going to be the first person to walk on Mars. Celebrity lawyer Gloria Allred sent a letter to the county prosecutor in West Palm Beach, Florida, requesting that they look into whether Rush Limbaugh violated state defamation laws when he called Sandra Fluck a slut. If that does violate Florida law, it has disturbing implications for everything that's ever occurred in Daytona Beach. McDonald's restaurants in New England are expanding their breakfast menu to include baked goods like muffins, danishes, and scones. A McDonald's spokesman said that the hardest thing about producing fresh baked pastries is figuring out how much Thousand Island dressing to fill them with. During a campaign speech given in Mississippi, Mitt Romney claimed that he was becoming an unofficial Southerner, adding, "I'm learning to say y'all," and "I like grits," and "I probably won't be president." The former Massachusetts governor then stunned the audience by reenacting a scene from what he claimed was his favorite Southern movie, Deliverance. All right, but now you know that we here at the BSofA hate the Irish. I'm sorry, that's an excerpt from my new book. I don't know how that got into the teleprompter. Can you scroll down? Scroll. God, that's a really long hate rant, as we say in the Irish hate ranting business. Okay, patties, sod, Guinness heads, whiskey, the chieftains, Sinn Féin, Bono, Pogue. Okay, there's the monologue. All right. By now you know that we here at the BSofA are ceaselessly stealing from the network by getting sponsors for our show and keeping the money for ourselves to buy iPads for our non-Irish staff. Well, this week's sponsor is Mobile Fit Nutrition. The good folks at Mobile Fit Nutrition gave us cash money and hundreds of dollars in nutritional supplements that are great if you're looking to get in shape or even if you're already in peak physical condition like me. So thanks to them. And if you're not Irish and would like to sponsor the BSofA, email us at sponsorthebsofa@gbtv.com. Sorry, what? Okay, I'm sorry. They're telling me we're an equal opportunity sponsor hirer, so you can be Irish. We'll be right back.
We'd like to take a minute to thank this week's sponsors.
Mobile Fit Nutrition.
Matt and I are here because we'd like you to know a little bit more about the top quality fitness supplement that Mobile Fitness Nutrition provides.
Thanks so much for having me. Ask away.
I guess that the first thing we'd want to know is, what does it take to look like you?
Honestly, it takes two things, effort and time. If you're willing to dedicate every day to taking care of your body, you can get to where I am right now.
Well, you say taking care of yourself, but what you really mean is working out a lot, right?
You know, you'd be surprised. Some days, I'm actively working out for as little as 90 minutes. What it's really about is putting yourself in a position to maintain peak health and maximize the impact of the time you spend at the gym. That's where supplements come in.
Now show us what these are.
Okay. Well, check this out. This is Amino Complete. You get a product shot there? Yeah, you would mix this with water and drink it during workouts. It provides the nutrients that your muscles need to grow as they heal.
Now, what's the practical effect of that on your body, though?
I'll show you.
Wow. Now, I really don't pump iron. Can products like these help me?
Well, what's your routine?
I usually spend my day eating ice cream and building websites. I sit a lot.
Not to put you on the spot, but show us that spare tire.
I mean,
oof. Ouch. Yeah, you know, given your lifestyle, I'd say these products could actually hurt you more than help you. But, you know what? If you get a routine going, you get...
Oh, no! Hey, guys, I'm so sorry about this. We switched your scripts. That's our fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, you guys know that I'm, like, technically obese, right?
Mobile Fit Nutrition. Visit their website at mobilefitnutrition.com.
The Getty Museum in Los Angeles returned 3 2,400-year-old parts of an ancient Greek gravestone to Athens this week. The stones will guide research into ancient Greek artifacts and triple the nation's GDP. A Georgia judge ruled that an illegal immigrant from Guatemala is the rightful owner of a winning lottery ticket worth $750,000. A lottery winner wagon arrived at the home of the alien to whisk him away to his riches. A new poll found that 52% of Republican voters in Mississippi believe that President Obama is a Muslim. When informed of the statistic, the president sighed, shook his head, and rolled up his prayer rug. New research suggests that turning the clocks ahead for daylight savings time increases the danger of traffic accidents, workplace injuries, and heart attacks. But on the plus side, nothing. A Seattle man is facing bigamy charges after his estranged wife discovered photos of him on Facebook cutting a wedding cake with a woman he married in 2011. Police said it was an open and shut case once they checked his relationship statuses. As you may have heard, Los Angeles-based company Sprinkles has created an ATM for cupcakes, offering freshly baked cupcakes at any hour, which got me thinking, what other purposes could an ATM serve? We don't have a budget for research and development, so I did the next best thing and asked my staff because they have to reply. Ben?
An ATM for hugs would be pretty neat. You know, for those days when you hate your boss and you just need a hug to make the stabby feelings go away.
Jack?
Yeah, I'd love an ATM that gave out puppies, you know, for like when it's 6 p.m. and you need a new pet, but the puppy mill is closed.
Okay, I'm no member of PETA or anything, but I don't think you should impulse purchase a puppy.
Oh, don't worry. I always drop them in the blue return bin when I'm done.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's move on. How about one of our cameramen? Les, what would you like an ATM for?
For girls.
Okay.
Not Asians, though. Remind me too much of the war.
What war?
All of them.
Caitlin, go ahead.
You know, I kind of like an ATM for prescription drugs. You know how that is, like when you go to the emergency room and the doctor's like, oh, we know you by name and we can't give you any more OxyContin, so.
Oh, this is a terrible idea. Matt?
I'd like an ATM that gave out money.
Okay, Matt, an ATM is a machine that gives out money.
Oh, that's a jackpot machine. I put in my lucky numbers and I win every time.
That's not a lucky number, that's your PIN code.
Well, it's pretty lucky. I won $100 last time.
You're not lucky, Matt. That was a withdrawal.
No, I used the money to buy some bling.
That's not bling. It's a bag of pretzel twists that you bought from a vending machine.
You mean a pretzel ATM?
Please tell me you at least got your change back.
Those things give out change?
We'll be right back.
Back in January, the new reality show Independence USA premiered right here on GBTV. Now, when this happened, Brian started panicking, worrying that the network wanted more reality programming, and he insisted that we change our format to match this new trend. So, we decided to make BSofA a reality show. At first, it was kind of fun, if not a little forced.
For more on this story, we go to Matt Fisher in the belly of a whale. Matt.
Thanks, Brian. I allowed myself to be swallowed by an orca whale to show how futile Obamacare is.
Gotcha! What a real thing that just happened. Totally unstaged, even though the camera guy was in just the right place to catch it. Where you going? That wasn't in the script.
But then, Brian started watching actual reality shows, and he set the rule that we need to be more like them.
This is really hard to do, as I've come to care about both of you very deeply.
What the hell is going on?
Mike. Mike, will you accept this shack?
I guess.
Ben, I'm sorry. Just take a moment to say your goodbyes.
What happens now? Well, Brian doesn't propose to you now.
Oh, great. Okay.
Also,
You're fired.
I think you're mixing up your reality shows, man.
Either way, you're gone. You won't get paid for today, so.
I don't know why Brian and I didn't have that spark, you know, that connection that people have. I mean, I didn't want that, don't get me wrong. But I just can't help but wondering, you know? What's wrong with me? What's my problem? Also, why Shaq? I mean, that's really weird, right?
Brian just got crazier from that point on, trying to manipulate people's lives.
listen, guys, in order to engage the viewers, we really need more conflict, okay? Matt, I need you to be sexually confused.
Oh, I'm not sexually confused. I have a wife and a son.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're confused about those feelings.
Not feelings. They're people.
Drop them, okay? It's bad for ratings. Start cross-dressing.
Terrible idea. Yep, I did it. I done did it. You know, I can't say no to Brian. Give up my $150 a week as a writer, and like I said, I have a kid. This is what that is.
Then, in classic reality show form, Brian started manipulating the reality around him to suit his crazy storylines.
I joined the Latin Kings. Kind of a low-level Latin King.
Okay, this will be like Fear Factor.
Fear Factor, the show that just made the contestants eat donkey semen?
Yes. For reals? Yes, but I'm not going to make you eat semen.
Okay, good.
From a donkey.
And that's the story of how everyone sued GBTV and why Glenn Beck now works at a Payless Shoes outside of Tulsa. Great job, Brian Sack.
Thank you. Would it kill you to say you're welcome, Brian? An American Airlines flight from Dallas to Chicago had to be diverted after a flight attendant announced that the plane was going to crash. Still, it was considered better in-flight entertainment than anything offered on Delta. Swiss watchmaker Hublot has crafted a watch inlaid with more than 1,200 diamonds that comes with a price tag of $5 million. It's a great, great watch. My dog has one, said Mitt Romney before realizing he shouldn't. Despite a steady unemployment rate of 8.3%, more than 200,000 jobs were created in the U.S. this February, though to be honest, they're not all quality positions. Isn't that right, personal butter softener? A performance of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra was interrupted this week when a fistfight broke out between two patrons over seats. In other news, at this weekend's Blackhawks-Rangers game, a cello quartet erupted. And finally, John McCain was reportedly outraged over the new HBO movie Game Change, mostly because he couldn't figure out how to change the channel. We'll be right back. Hi, we're here in the office with bodybuilder Javon Smith, who's going to show us all how Mobile Fit Nutrition products can make you so strong. So why don't you go ahead and show us, Javon. Give us a display of strength.
Okay. First, I'm going to crush this can with my bare hands.
Whoa!
Next, I'm going to bend this metal bar.
No. What? Oh, no way. Hey!
Next, I'm going to break this small robot in half.
Oh, okay. What?
Guys, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Strong! Thanks to Mobile Fit Nutrition, this man is burning bad!
You're going to burn in hell!
You pay for what you did!
No! Oh, no, God! Oh!
Mobile Fit Nutrition, give it! And Mobile Fit Nutrition, take it away!
No Catholics!
Look what you did to us, Mobile Fit Nutrition!
Mobile Fit Nutrition. Great for you, bad for Ben.
My guest at the interview bar tonight spent 5 years as an attorney in the voting section of the United States Department of Justice, a big building filled with lawyers in Washington, D.C. And according to his book, it's also filled with a bunch of BS. He's written Injustice, Exposing the Racial Agenda of the Obama Justice Department, and he drinks rum and Coke. Please welcome Christian Adams.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so what is the voting section of the DOJ?
Voting section is the unit of justice that regulates federal election law. It is the unit that this week, as a matter of fact, objected to Texas photo ID. They said you can't do this. They have an enormous amount of power over our election systems, dead people on the voter rolls, redistricting, every facet of American elections.
All right, so you were there for 5 years. What did you find to be wrong?
Well, the worst thing that's happening, and I write about this in the book, is there is an unequal application of voting laws. I brought the new Black Panther case, the case where these men are stalking the polls with weapons in Philadelphia shouting racial slurs.
This was it was on YouTube and it was covered a lot.
A lot.
And it was the two guys in their outfits, kind of paramilitary garb.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were waving a baton and just shouting at people.
Yeah, you're about to be ruled by the black man cracker,
Right.
friendly greetings at the polling place.
Okay.
And we brought a case during the Bush administration for voter intimidation. After the inauguration, even though the Panthers never answered, the case was dismissed. The political appointees in the Obama administration didn't want anything to do with the case. It's just one example of many of sort of this corrupted racial view driving Justice Department policy.
How did you react to that?
Well, obviously we were very upset. I mean, you know, the law is meant to treat everybody equally. You're supposed to be equal in the eyes of the law. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, if you're a white or black wrongdoer or a white or black victim. It shouldn't matter. But unfortunately, in this Justice Department, it does.
One of the things I saw in the book that kind of was disconcerting to me was pictures of people's offices. And these are people tasked in the voting section with overseeing elections, and they had Obama posters on the wall, which to me was a little weird. I mean, I expect people will have their biases and things like that, but to kind of blatantly advertise it, a little strange.
Oh, it's worse than strange. I mean, these are the people regulating elections this coming year, and they have giant Obama posters hanging on their walls after they were told to take them down, after they were told this breaks the law. Doesn't seem to matter sometimes.
Do you think this is a deliberate attempt on behalf of, I guess, Attorney General Eric Holder to kind of maybe stack the deck in his favor, or do you think he has an agenda, I guess?
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, you could look at other things I write about in the book besides the Black Panthers.
Ike Brown was one of those?
Yeah.
Tell me about Ike Brown.
Ike Brown is this guy in Mississippi who was engaged in blatant voter fraud, canceling valid ballots, cranking illegal ballots through the voting machine. It was all racially motivated. And when the Bush Justice Department brought this case, it's important for people to know that there are people in the voting section who didn't want to bring this case because the wrongdoer was black. Look, equal enforcement of the law is something that we fought the bloodiest war in this country's history over. The idea that all men are created equal, that this divine right of individual dignity should govern how the law treats you. And if somebody thinks that's small potatoes when that principle fails, that's their problem, not mine.
Is this something that changes as the administration changes?
Look, the Clinton Justice Department was fined $4 million in sanctions for bringing bad voting and civil rights cases. I write about the details in the book. The Bush Justice Department was fined $0. So there's a different philosophy. One side wants to push the law beyond the bounds that courts have set for ideological principles. The Republicans, when they're in charge, want to sort of restrain themselves to what the law allows them to do.
Now, you say in the book that you allege that Holder is specifically hiring people left-leaning who have advocated for civil rights. Is that a bad thing?
Well, no. In the book, I say he's hired people who have taken on radical causes. Some of these are not civil rights causes. Okay. Every single one of the people, the new attorneys that Eric Holder has hired into this division, is an outright leftist or radical. How
can an activist/partisan DOJ like this affect the upcoming elections?
Oh, good gracious. There's so many ways. Let me give you just one. Motor voter. You ever hear of that? That's you go in, you get your DMV. Okay. Motor voter makes it easy to register to vote, but it also requires states to clean up the voter rolls. There's another part of motor voter that forces them to take dead people off the rolls. Felons, people who have moved away. This Justice Department is ideologically opposed to enforcing the list maintenance provision, the part that takes, dead people off the rolls. They gathered the entire voting section together and said, we're not going to enforce this part of the law. So going into the 2012 election, we have places all over the country with more people on the voter rolls than are eligible to vote.
Because they're either not alive or not
moved away.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And this Justice Department won't do anything about it.
Do dead people tend to vote on the left side of the political spectrum?
Well, it's hard to poll in hell and heaven. But that being said, you have some convictions around the country. You have people who have voted twice, like Terrell Campbell. Terrell Campbell voted in both Illinois and Missouri in the 2008 presidential election and said he was an Obama supporter. I don't know if more people who break the law are Democrat versus Republican, but you certainly see when the Democrats are most interested in preventing election integrity measures, it does give you some pause as to who's really behind it.
We fix this how? Just by putting in a new Attorney General who has a better appreciation for what you say is equal application of the law?
That's a start. But, we face a big, giant national tar pit on this. I mean, people are stuck in their ways. It's tough to get out of this mess. How you get out of it is going to take the work of citizens, local election officials who clean up their rolls, state officials who don't tolerate justice being overbearing like they just did to Texas this week with voter ID, and a new federal government. That's really the only way out.
How many times do you plan on voting this November?
At least once.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
All right, that concludes this week's BS of A with your host, me. My guest was Christian Adams, author of injustice. Thank you for joining us. There's a new BSofA next week, and until then, you can look us up on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. Are we on Pinterest? Nope, not on Pinterest. It's not Pinteresting. See you next week, and please continue to not touch things that are very hot. I'm Brian Sack. Good night.